From the BBC World Service, in association with ABC and All India Radio, this is Stumped.
Hello and welcome to Stumped, your intercontinental hit of news, features and debate from the quirky world of cricket. I'm Alison Mitchell in London, where it is the first week of the domestic cricket season, which means the world is filled with optimism and hope. And of course, there's a bit of rain around as well. Interestingly, I was in the city for a workshop with a couple of county and international cricketers the other day about emotional intelligence. It was hosted by a big insurance firm in the famous Walkie Talkie building, which is right on the River Thames overlooking Tower Bridge. And it was all about emotional intelligence. So a lot of that about regulating your emotions, which of course at the start of the season, it's very easy to do because nobody's been out first ball yet. Nobody's had a dodgy LBW decision. So it'll be interesting just to see how the emotional intelligence evolves as the season goes on.
Nice to see you, Ali. Yeah, hopes are always high. Brett Sprigg here for the ABC in Sydney. It's been a big couple of days here with the awarding of central player contracts. The big winners are our Aussie women, more contracts and more money. I'm sure we'll talk more about that later on. But with those 41 contracts in total awarded, everything is now full steam ahead to the Ashes in a couple of months' time.
Good to see you, Spriggy. You look so professional in that studio setup of yours. Hello, this is Charu Sharma for All India Radio. Back home in Bangalore after some extended travel. Some of it, by the way, for Stumped, which we hugely enjoyed. Then a quick trip to the Himalayas and then to Mumbai to conduct an auction for Omtech's 50-plus league done by a friend of mine. It's still going on now. So a lot of cricket action in various ways, but not enough time to watch the IPL, but there's plenty of time left yet. Good to be back on Stumped and home.
Yep, good to see you again, Charu, as well. And we loved your reporting from Mumbai. It was really fabulous to have you out there at the WPL. And we're going to actually start by talking about the volume of women's cricket because it has increased massively, hasn't it, over the last 2 years, especially with the introduction now of the WPL. We've got the 100, there's the Women's Caribbean Premier League, and then there's Fair Break as well, which is ongoing right now. Of course, all of that alongside the much longer running WBBL in Australia. Well, one player who never seems to stop is West Indies captain Hayley Matthews. And no sooner had she won the inaugural WPL with Mumbai Indians, or she left India and flew to Hong Kong for the Fair Break Invitational. It's a tournament where global stars mix into teams with associate players and others from further afield even. Now, Hayley took some time out from what is a pretty busy schedule to have a chat with us on Stumped and about really how playing for her country is still her number one priority. So more on that shortly, but I began by asking her just how it felt to win that WPL.
Yeah, it's just been crazy. I think it's definitely a new level for women's cricket on field and off field. I think when I speak about the Mumbai Indians family and the experiences we had together just within the dressing room, the type of players that were in the team were great. We all gelled from the very beginning. And then I think when you talk about the cricketing aspect of it, the crowds that were there were absolutely insane. I think that playoff match that we had in the semi-finals, it was about 36,000 people, which was quite crazy when you really think about it. And yeah, I think just the level of cricket was amazing too. Some of the scores that the teams put up, ourselves included, had a lot of matches where over 350 runs were scored. Yeah, the experience on a whole was quite insane, just getting to be a part of the tournament and seeing women's cricket race to a completely new level.
Did you know what to expect when you were going? I mean, talk about the crowds, but, everything else that goes along with this tournament. What was your sort of sense before you went out there about what it may or may not be like?
I think I definitely had expectations, but for sure I could say they were exceeded. I think even small things like just our team room was quite insane when we went in. We had all the table tennis tables, you had a massage chair, you had the bar, you had a DJ booth, a pool table, PlayStations all around.
Who was on the DJ booth, Hayley?
We had a lot of people. Millie Kerr, she was very famous for the DJ booth. She was quite into it herself. But it was definitely a whole new experience for us. Just the professionalism down there as well was quite insane. The way that Mumbai treated us definitely felt like a big family. And I think that all of that kind of helped us to want to go out there and play even better on the field as well.
For you on the field then, because you put in a fabulous all-round performance, 271 runs across the 10 matches, the purple cap. Charlotte Edwards called you the steal of the WPL. What does it mean to you to kind of hear those words from her?
I'm pretty happy that I think working with Charlotte, she's been a fantastic coach, and I think she has been for years now. Not my first time playing under her, and she's just been great to work under. And yeah, I mean, like, obviously, my first thing was to get into the WPL and just try to perform as well as I possibly could. But yeah, once again, just probably exceeded expectations, which I'll take any day. And look, I'm just really happy that at the end of the day, we were able to go out there as a team and perform really well, and that I was able to contribute as best as I could to that team's success. And I think that that's the biggest thing for me, just being able to contribute really well to the team's purpose. And obviously, I think it went along really well with the other performers we had in the team too. With Nat, Wongi, Amelia, like Shat, from our skipper Harman, I think we had a really good team all-round effort. So yeah, I think it's just it feels great to, I guess, perform the way I did, but even better with the players that I did it with, and knowing that it helped the team so much to the success in the end as well.
And there was an invitation, wasn't there, to the Mumbai Indians owner's house? Was that just at the end of the tournament when you won, or had you had other visits before that?
Yeah, we went when the competition first started, and we went in the middle of it as well to go watch a movie, which was quite crazy at the cinema. But no, definitely
the cinema in the home.
Yeah, in the house, yeah, which is quite crazy. But no, I think Mrs. Ambani, she's so lovely. The way she treated all of us is pretty special, and definitely made us feel like we were all one family. And yeah, the visit to the house was definitely insane as well. Pretty big house, very tall, and we were in a bit of a skyscraper. But no, like just all really cool experiences that you never really get to experience playing anywhere else. But obviously India is special, and the way that they treat their cricketers and their players are quite special as well.
To ask you a sort of quite a serious sounding question off the back of that, it's been such an incredible experience. Do you foresee any knock on for international cricket? I mean, we have already known some players who have retired probably towards the back end of their career after they've already played a lot of international cricket to just play T20 now. Do you think, has there been any chat amongst players about, I might just focus on T20 now? How do you feel about it?
I haven't necessarily heard anything. I think for me, it's probably just trying to find that right balance. Obviously, I'll come down to the ICC and the franchises trying to put together some really good schedules over the next couple of years in order to make sure that players can both have the opportunity to play both and international cricket. And I think for me personally, look, obviously as West Indies captain, West Indies is still my number one priority, and I love playing the franchise stuff, and hopefully, like I said, there can be some balance between the two of those, where players are still able to be really happy playing both franchise cricket and international cricket as well.
We've gone from India to Hong Kong now, haven't you? The Fair Break tournament is starting, so no time in between. Just tell us how this tournament differs to all those others that you play around the world.
Yeah, I just came over to Hong Kong, got a couple of days to kind of recoup and go again now. But yeah, the Fair Break competition is one that's mixed with associate players as well as a lot of international stars, which I think is a really good initiative, and kind of gets those associate players and gives them an opportunity to play against some of the best players in the world. And I think it gives us international players a chance as well to, I guess, have a look at all the talent that there is at the associate level, which is so much. I think last year in the initial competition of Fair Break, a lot of us were very surprised by all the talent at the associate level. And I think competitions like this are going to be massive when it comes to the growth of those smaller associate countries, being able to grow and being able to build and hopefully gaining international status really soon.
Well, Hayley, congratulations once again on winning the WPL. Enjoy Fair Break as well, and look forward to seeing you around the world again very soon.
Yeah, thank you so much.
That was Hayley Matthews, the West Indies captain and Mumbai Indians all-rounder. She was speaking to me just at the start of Fair Break, which is well underway now and in full swing in Hong Kong. Brett and Charu, just to pick up on a couple of things she said. Well, first of all, Brett, I neglected to warmly welcome you back to Stumped at the start of the show because Jim is somewhere around a French winery and fromagerie, I think, as we speak. So he will be back. It's great to have you with us. So she was saying there, wasn't she, about captaining West Indies and playing for her country is still her number one priority over playing in this burgeoning number of franchise competitions around the world. I just wonder how you both see the women's model currently and that landscape of sort of country v franchise, a question which is ever more significant in the men's game.
I think it's fairly apparent that it's going the other way. And we've seen an increase in players maintaining a degree of flexibility, I suppose, in how they balance their national commitments and their franchise cricket with that. New Zealand, of course, had the earliest examples with Trent Boult and Jimmy Neesham, who turned down central contracts but still play for New Zealand when selected, when they choose to. Or you look at a person we discussed on this program before, Will Smead, the young lad from Somerset. Now, I know he hasn't yet played international cricket, but he signed that white ball only contract with his county, didn't he, last year, which was obviously quite groundbreaking and signalled a growing divide in the priorities of players across the formats. I love hearing Hayley Matthews say that she prioritises international cricket and remind us that there is that higher level of integrity, that international cricket still means something. But I think it's up to the ICC and the Future Tours program to create meaningful, engaging international cricket. It's all well and good to say that it means a lot to you. That might be true of this generation, but with every passing year, we're ushering in a new era where that's no longer necessarily true, and that that's the ongoing existential theme, I guess, around cricket's future.
Yeah, well, Brett, you've taken some of the words out of my mouth, but at the risk of repeating a bit, I do think that cricket is not... Private leagues, franchises, clubs may not be new to cricket. I mean, you can argue that there was county cricket and many other, private leagues around the world, but it has now exploded. So there are global leagues, and it's still a little new to cricket. And so therefore, the current generation is still conditioned to say that I'd like to play for my country first, and then only everything else. But remember, there are only 15 or 20 people who can play for the country. So yes, it's an exalted position. It's still on a pedestal where you say that I'm playing for my country. And yes, you earn a little bit of extra too. And yes, there's extra attention. In cricket for the moment, I do think that playing for the country does mean a lot because there's national interest and national praise and visibility and everything else. But more and more, as Brett said, and maybe gradually so in women's cricket, but as you mentioned, Alison, much more so in men's cricket, I think for the soon-to-be-retired category of players and the fringe players who may consider that, well, if I'm not going to get to be the top 15, 20, then what am I waiting for? So I think there's a huge tendency now to go towards league or franchise cricket around the world because, after all, if it's to be a profession, you have to earn through it. And whatever the earning opportunities are, that's where you gravitate. And it's going to happen more and more. This conditioning that all the current cricketers go through about, no, country first. I think maybe in 10, 15 years from now, they'll be, wherever I play, I play. I ply my trade wherever I possibly can. And if I get to play for the country, great, for the flag. Otherwise, I'm quite content to just be a professional cricketer. And that's how sport really is in all those sports that have become professional over the years.
Now, it's been a landmark week in Australian cricket. Brett, you mentioned it at the top of the show. Cricket Australia announced an increase in payments for all centrally contracted cricketers, with female players now set to become the nation's highest paid women's athletes in Australian team sport. All male and female professionals will share a projected $426 million over the next 5 years, which is a 26% increase. 26%. And I know inflation is high, but that's going some way. 26% increase on the existing agreement. And women will be paid from a pool of money worth $89.3 million. That in itself is up from $53.4. Brett, I mean, just how momentous is this? I mean, for the current players, certainly, but also future generations.
Yeah, it's big and it's been coming for a while, Ali. It's firstly incredible to think, just looking back, not that long ago, where women picked for their country had to pay their own travel costs in Australia and England. If you debuted, say, 10 or 15 years ago, you would have experienced monumental change in the game as far as what's on offer these days. But you're right about the generations in the future. And look, nobody starts out wanting to be a cricket millionaire. You do it because you love it at the age of 5 or 6. You don't think about that sort of stuff at that early stage. But you need to be able, as a sport, to sell a dream. And this tells young girls that there is a career available to you whereby you can support yourself playing cricket. That simply wasn't true for more than a handful of players as recently as a few years ago. And cricket needs to be able to appeal in that way, not only for participation at junior level, but also overall interest. So with that, you bring in more fans and you ensure the survival of the sport for a while longer. There are still a lot of players missing out on opportunities and match payments because they have a job they must prioritise, and that's still a large section of Australia's domestic contracted players. But by and large, it is a really positive step.
How have you seen this help, specifically in India just yet? I mean, they've been helped enormously, the players, by the private money in the WPL. But what about sort of at board level and, domestically contracted?
Well, for some years now, the BCCI has taken over women's cricket. There was a separate women's cricket body in India earlier on, and they were unfortunately not getting too much traction commercially. But ever since the BCCI took over, as we know, they're not shy of funds. And that certainly helped women's cricket straight away because there was some level of payment. Now that, of course, has increased over the years fairly sharply. And I think the one floodgate that was waiting to open was this discovery of whether women's cricket can be independently commercially successful. And the WPL has played a huge role in that. Now the board believes that whatever increases are due for women's cricket are completely deserved. Collectively, the women are getting much better commercial values. And I think that is, from an administration point of view, fabulous news, because now they know it's not like a dole, it's actually income that the women are earning because of their own standards and presence. And of course, otherwise, because of the sums that women the top Indian women cricketers earn now, there are so many women taken to the game. I mean, I was at this auction a couple of days ago in Mumbai, and the gentleman who ran it, Vijay Patel, was saying that in their condominiums and these building societies, they have some small tournaments, and now there are more women happy to play these little building tournaments ever before than even boys. So that's a massive move. Of course, it comes right after the WPL, so there's some residual kind of interest there. But yes, it's a massive pole vault in terms of what women's cricket is going through in India. It's a huge boom right now. It was waiting to happen, Alison. We've been talking about it for so many years on Stumped, and this has been a wonderful kick at the WPL.
Well, that's all we've got time for on this week's Stumped. So my thanks to Brett Sprigg and Charu Sharma, and to all of you for listening, and we'll see you again next week. Till then, bye-bye.
From the BBC World Service, in association with ABC and All India Radio, this is Stumped.